Last night we received a lot of rain, and over here in Uganda, I don't know if it's present in other parts of the world. I know it's present in other parts of Africa, but we have what we call white ants. White ants live in anthills. You know, I think they are part of the termite family. They live in anthills, and when it rains a lot, they are chased out of their place underground. So they fly, and they're a delicacy for us over here. They are ants. Unfortunately, it was during the night, so we couldn't capture any of them. But they flew out, and because it was raining, a lot of them fell on the ground. You know, they are looking for where there is light. And guys, the red ants are having a party. Right here, everywhere I'm standing, there's red ants everywhere. They are picking up the white ants. And there's lots of birds around that have all come to pick up the red ants. Oh, it's so sad that I missed out on them. I'm not going to get to eat any of them. When it rains, the cattle unit becomes really messy. I'm going to check out the goat area. You know, for the past few days, we've been having some issues with the goats and the sheep. I'll go and show you guys exactly what's happening. But for now, we'll have to go through the cattle shed. Right here. Okay, so this is our cattle unit. So here you can see that we have the calves still in. So we have quite a number of calves. They have been isolated, so this is one of the rooms. We have 4 rooms actually. You can see this is one room, we have another room over there, we have a 3rd room, and we have a 4th room. This one has quite a number of calves. Quite many inside here. Can I count them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Around 15 calves inside here. We have just 2 inside here. We have about 6 there, and then maybe 6, 7 inside here. So quite a number of calves. Ideally, they should be out on the pasture feeding, but today we want to deworm them. Yeah, we're going to be deworming all the cattle today. So because of that, we're not letting them out. Hopefully I'll get the time to show you guys when they are being dewormed. The medicine is given through the mouth. So for now, they're going to stay here. In maybe an hour or so, they should be dewormed, and then we can let them out. I'll show you guys where they are supposed to go. You know, we can just open this, let them out. They'll move through this gate, and they'll move right into that area. That's where they feed from. There's a gate right there. So I know for now they are quite hungry and they are desperate, but we can't get them out as yet. Also, you can see the cattle kraal area. It's really messy. This is what happens when it rains. It gets really messy because it's a cattle area. They just poop everywhere and they tread everywhere with their feet. So it gets really messy, but we try to clean it out as often as possible. You can see a pile of manure over there. We clean it probably every 2 or 3 days, get it out, and then we get it ready to be taken into the garden. Okay guys, the cows are actually already in the crash and they're going to be dewormed. Yeah, so the deworming is probably not the best method that we could use. We are using just syringes, 100 ml syringe, and then you just draw the medicine and put it inside the mouth of the cow. So it requires quite some energy. Someone needs to hold the mouth of the cow, and then they give the dewormer inside the mouth of the cow, because we don't want the cows to get sick. We don't want them ill. So I'll just go show you guys exactly how we are doing it. Alright guys, enough of the cattle. The guys will carry on having them dewormed over there inside the kraal. And you can see that some of them have been finished. You know, you can see them outside here. Now they are feeding on the grass. They look a bit distressed. Ideally, they would already be feeding, but most of them are just standing. It's understandable, you know. Taking in medicine is not very comfortable. Anyway, let's go and I'll show you exactly what's happening with the goats. Here we are inside the goat house, and you can see that the housing is nothing close to ideal. It was probably okay some time back, but with the advancement of technology and new methods of raising animals, this is really terrible. You can see that when it rains, the floor gets really messy, and the sheep are lying down on the floor, the goats are lying down on the floor. It's really messy. You can see that this is a recipe for infection. Most of the area is open, as you can see, and we just have a small area which is shaded. But in total, we have about between 550 and 600 animals inside here. Goats and sheep, most of them are sheep. So most of the animals, even when it rains, they don't have a shade. And that has caused us problems over the past few weeks. So over the past few weeks, we've had 2 goats and a sheep die. And that's really terrible. Considering over the 6 months before that, we didn't have an animal die. These deaths are a really terrible thing. So what we need to do, guys, is that we need to make sure that we put up a better structure. One that ensures that in case of rain, the animals are raised from the floor, number 1, so there's no contact between the animals and their poop. That's number 1. And number 2, something that ensures that all the animals have a shaded area in case of rain. And this just won't do it, guys. This just won't do it. This is obsolete, completely obsolete. So we've decided to build a new goat shed in a completely different location from where this is. Probably around 200 meters away, 150 to 200 meters away, we're going to be building a new goat shed. And guys, it's going to be quite big because the plan is to multiply and have as many goats and sheep as possible. But also, we want to separate the goats and the sheep. We know that the goats are usually a bit more fragile than the sheep, and the sheep can endure disease more than the goats. So the sheep can actually act as disease carriers for the goats. We don't want that to happen. So we're going to be separating the goats and the sheep. That structure will enable us to do that. Number 2, we want to be separating the young goats and the old ones, you know, the young sheep and the old ones. So we can have different portions inside those structures. We can have the sheep feed alone, and we can have the goats feed alone. So let's go and see what we are doing with the new goat shed. We're moving to the goat house right now, and you can see that it's quite far away. Like I told you, we have the cattle grazing over here. You know, we have the corral somewhere over there. It's obstructed currently, but that's where, no, it's not the corral, it's actually the crush. That's where the cattle are actually being dewormed from, but these ones have already had their deworming done. So they are feeding right here in this paddock. Over there in the background, we have the new goat house where it's going to be. So ideally, the way the goat house is being built is that it's going to be raised off the ground, and we want it really raised. I know this is not something that people are used to, or probably not something that you could have seen, but we want it to be comfortable enough for the person who is cleaning under. So that means we're going to raise it about 1.5 meters off the ground. 1.5 in height off the ground. That way the person who is cleaning under, in case of cleaning, will be comfortable enough to not bend. The floor is actually going to be serrated. It's going to be made from timber. The floor, literally the entire structure, apart from the pillars supporting it up, the entire structure is going to be made from timber, from wood, because that's the cheapest thing. You don't need to build something very expensive for the goats. But the floor is going to have space in between it to ensure that the droppings from the goats keep falling down. That ensures that the house actually remains clean. It ensures that there is no urine, the place doesn't get messy, and it's going to be big enough to keep maybe 2,000, 3,000 goats if need be. Quite a big one. So guys, right here you can see these are our posts, you know, our concrete posts. You can see them. We have quite a number that have already been put up. Very many. Now the structure is going to be really big, like I've said. It's probably going to be about 26 meters across. 26 meters, that's in width. And for the length, it's even going to be longer. Really long. Because we want to keep here quite a number of goats, going forward. Starting out, of course, we shall not fill it out with goats because we don't have the capacity to fill it out. But going out in the future, we need to be able to fill the place. So it doesn't make sense us building twice or 3 times. Just do it once and you just expand into it. That makes it really easy for us. Now you can see the height of the post. You know, it's not really tall at this point. You can see that I'm 174 meters tall. So this is probably around 150 meters, if I could say. But then we have quite a slope going down, quite a number of meters going down in distance. So that means the last post down is probably going to be 2.5 or 3 meters, because the drop we have is certainly more than a meter, maybe 1.5 meters. So that gets it up to around 3 meters high, 2.5 and 3 meters high. That's quite a drop. But the concrete posts had been built using metal and concrete, and then we have pieces of wood, plywood. The same exact plywood that I showed you guys that we were using to build the hatchery is the same exact type that we have all around. Yeah, you can see it in the distance. That's what we are using. It's a very good one. Actually, we have one very close by here. It's a very good one because the advantage is that you can reuse it and reuse it. You just use screws to put it together, and once you're done, you just unscrew it, as you might see here. Yeah, so it's just a frame with a few screws that you can remove, and then you reuse it. So after we finish the upper section, we just remove the framing right here and take it to the lower pillars. It's very effective. I actually like exactly how it's working. So that's it, guys. I'll leave the guys working, continue with the construction. I'll go and continue my other business. Quite a lot going on around the farm. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, smash the notification bell. That way you never miss out on any of the uploads. Tell me, what do you think about the project? I think it's a good one. Quite ambitious, but it will certainly give us really good results. Lots of love. Catch you very soon with another video. Bye-bye.